organization, just so you guys don't have to sit through me looking at all the shirts and pants and hairs and whatnot. But as you can see, that's what I choose to design my character as. But I really love Stardew Valley. Of course, I do have the one roleplay up on my channel, Welcome to Pelican Town, and honestly, that is one of the videos I am most proud of. It's one of my favorite videos I've put out. So, I thought I'd finally get around and play the actual game with you guys, and I'm very excited about it because it's an excuse to play through Stardew Valley again. So here, I always choose the standard farm, but I thought this time it might be fun to look at something different. So I'm scrolling through all of them, and I'm a big forest guy, like in real life. I love the forests, I love the mountains. So I really contemplate going with the forest farm. It'll be my first time. And I don't really know what the difference between all the different farms, like, is it in a different location? Spoiler, it's not, obviously. But I decide I will go with the forest farm to see what it's all about. And I do skip the intro because it's a pretty long intro, and well, if you've played the game, it's not really necessary. But for those of you who haven't played the game, I'll fill you in. Our grandfather, the player's grandfather, passed away, but he owned a farm in a place called Stardew Valley, specifically a small town inside Stardew Valley called Pelican Town. And now us, a bored and burned out city slicker, decides we want to live a new, fresh life. And so, oh, maybe I didn't mention, our grandfather left the farm to us in the will. So we decide we finally take him up on that and move out to Pelican Town to live our new life on the farm. So as you can see, if you are familiar with Stardew Valley, there are a few things that aren't in the normal game. For example, I pulled up the map and you saw where everyone was. You saw their little heads. And in the top left corner, there are little progress bars for the different skills. So, yes, this is modded Stardew Valley. Nothing too crazy. Really just little conveniences here and there, quality of life changes. But probably the biggest one, but very common, is Stardew Valley Expanded, which basically just adds on to Stardew Valley and adds a few new characters and a few new places, but nothing to make it a whole different game. It really is true to its name. It's just Stardew Valley, but a little expanded. Think about it as like a free DLC to the game. So, as you can maybe tell, this is all being dubbed over. After recording it all, I recorded this last night, and I'm obviously recording the commentary right now. This is because, that way I can kind of turn on my music and just play, mindlessly, and also because my mouse is really loud. I've noticed every time I do a video where I record on my laptop. So I decided it's best if I go no audio while playing the game and then dub over commentary afterwards. And this was inspired by an ASMR artist I really like, named Snow Monkey ASMR. I'm even kind of doing his technique of switching in between the whisper and the soft spoken, which honestly he does so perfectly and so well, and I love it so much that I thought it'd be nice to do something similar, because I don't do a lot of soft spoken on this channel, but it's a very underappreciated thing. So as you can see, I'm showing you here the some of the new characters on their birthdays. So for those of you who don't play Stardew Valley, oh, there's another mod I have, and I'm showing it off to you. It's anime portraits. So the portraits are a little cleaner. You know, just everyone looks a little, honestly, hotter. And also I named my character Noel, of course. But I named the farm Friendship Farm because I thought it'd be very fitting for this channel. And my favorite thing is penguins because I love penguins. So those of you who don't know Stardew Valley right now, I am in the heart of Pelican Town, and one of our first quests here is to introduce ourselves to everyone, so that's what I'm going around and doing. I'm trying to find everyone. Now, with Expanded, there are 31 people to find, so we don't complete it all in one day, but I make sure to allot enough time to try to seek everyone out. And the nice thing about this game is it's realistic. In the intro, you're introduced to the mayor, Lewis, and the carpenter, Robin, so it already marks it off that you've met 2 of the 31 people. Alright, now I'm just kind of looking around places I think people might be. Like there in the library, I was looking for Penny, because she goes there quite a lot with the children, or by herself. But yeah, and you know, if you've never played Stardew Valley before, you will learn about all of this in time, because I'm really zooming through all the places, but you'll come to learn their functions and who goes where and what's what. So this is a mistake I make where I think Willie will be in his shop, but I forgot that it is a storyline thing that he introduces himself. And there I'm saying I acknowledge that, but I have so little infantry space that I don't pick it up now. I still think the anime portraits are so funny because some of them stay really true to the character, and then others just completely redefine them. Like Harvey is cleanly shaven now. He doesn't have his iconic mustache, which kind of makes me sad, but I didn't design them. But like Benny, I feel like that's close enough. I don't know. Maybe she looks like a little young, but and Emily is another one I think they did really well. And then I go to see check if Haley's in her room, and I don't think I'm able to tell. But I'm not good enough friends with anyone, obviously, because I just moved here to enter their rooms. Oh, and the children, Vincent and Jazz, I think they did their portraits really well. I think very true to the character. Jody as well. You know, everyone's just a little spruced up. Just because, you know, I love this game and everything about it. But, you know, the portraits aren't going in any museums, so to speak. And I don't want to be rude because definitely the original portraits add that charm. But, you know, just the little things. And here I find a room that I never knew existed. Like, I have played through this game, well, you know, I've gotten very far, twice, and I never knew this room was back here, so I don't know if it's new or what, but, yeah, so I look around that, and honestly, it seems like Marnie is running some kind of, like, drug scheme back there, but who knows? Yeah, so this first day obviously is pretty uneventful. I plant my allotted parsnip seeds and just do a little bit of cleaning. I'll do more cleaning tomorrow, and then, say hello to who I can find, but, nothing too crazy yet. But, really, this game, it has something that resembles a storyline, but more or less, you just kind of live on a farm and do your farm work, then make cash to do more farm work. But you can upgrade your house, and you can get married and have, I don't think it's two, I think you can only have one kid, but you can have kids. And yeah, there's really not much to it, but in a game like this, that's good. It's good to have it simple and to the point. And another one of the very small mods that didn't even need modding API was dynamic lighting. As you can see, you can kind of tell the sun is setting, and I think that's a really great touch. And if you own Stardew Valley but aren't very tech savvy and don't want to try to get into mods, this mod, I believe, you can download just easily and put it in the local files to the game, and it'll be in it. So, because, I'm not very good with modding or anything computer related, really. But when I'm passionate about something, or I really want something, I try to give it my all to make it work, and modding Stardew Valley was one of those things. And it's not too hard, especially with all the guides out there. And don't worry, you don't even need to watch a YouTube video. You can just look it up online. But it just depends on the form of medium you want to learn from. Like for me, I kind of prefer reading over watching a video, depending on how involved it is. But I think I mainly did it on the Stardew Valley wiki page. They have a modding section, and yeah, that's how I did it. That's how I learned, was through that wiki modding area. And that was super helpful, because I'm on Mac. I don't know if it's easier or harder on Windows, but yeah, there's very limited things you can do video game wise on a Mac, but modding Stardew Valley and running Stardew Valley is one of them, so I'm going to be more thankful. But then, after you kind of get all the required stuff like SMAPI and Space Core, adding mods is really simple. You just kind of download them from Nexus, and you just open up Steam and select browse local files, and then you make a mods folder in the game files and just drag them in there, and then that's about it. Now, I will say I had a bit of a rough patch for a while with just even getting Stardew Valley to open. Because of all the mods I had downloaded, my computer was dead set that SMAPI, which is what, like I said, I'm not too good, but I believe is kind of what communicates. It's like the middleman for the mods in the game. I know it's required, at least. My computer was dead set that was malware, and didn't even give me a chance to say no, it's not. It was fully convinced and wouldn't let me open Stardew so long as SMAPI was in those game files. So that was like that for a few months, because I genuinely had no idea what to do. I was looking it up. I tried everything that it said. I was even in Command Center, which is basically like trying to reroute your computer, but it didn't work, and I had no idea. So eventually one day, months later, I was like, I really want to play Stardew Valley again. I've been missing it. And so I gave it one final effort, and tell you, when I felt like a computer genius at that moment, I really did. I had never felt smarter in my life. And eventually, it opened, and I felt fantastic. Anyway, here we have the letter from Willie. So finally, we're going to be able to meet him and get the fishing rod. But, of course, on a farm, you have to water your crops before anything. Now, later on in the game, of course, you can buy sprinklers, and it'll automate it, do it at the beginning of every morning, but for now, we have 15 parsnip seeds and a watering can. So, all in due time. But I decide I believe to clean up a little more before the day really begins, because as you can see in the top right, it's only 7 a.m. And, the world isn't really awake at 7 a.m., so I decide to do a little bit of cleaning while I have the free time. Because one of my favorite things to do at the beginning of a Stardew playthrough is clean up the farm. Now, since this is the forest farm, I do decide to leave all the trees be for now, because it kind of adds, it's a lot of energy cutting down all those trees. And plus, I have no need for all that space so far. So, why cut down the trees? They're not getting in the way right now. However, all these random stones and bushes and twigs are, so I clear all those out, which, is kind of expected of the player. Because in the opening intro, there's a scene where they get to the farm, and the player's character freaks out at how messy it is. So obviously, it's alluded at that you're supposed to clean it all up. And plus it makes sense because eventually you're going to be able to get animals and you're going to be building other buildings on your farm, so you need open space. And I do have a mod on here that can give you infinite energy and can pause time, so if I really wanted to, I could clean all of this up and not have it come out of my day at all, but where's the fun in that, It's all about the balance of time. And also, I wouldn't want to do that on a YouTube playthrough. YouTube playthrough is all about trying to be more honest, I feel, with your gameplay. So, I will try to be as honest as I can throughout all these episodes. But I believe I decided to stop cleaning. Yeah, I believe I tried to finish cleaning up all the bushes, and then I'll head out. Because I'm already at half energy. That little bar in the bottom right is my energy, and when that runs out, I've never actually had it happen before, but I believe I pass out and am unable to carry on with the day. So it's always important that that doesn't run out. And later on, we're gonna get a health bar, but that's only in one specific area. But yeah, you'll see that in later episodes. So I finally finished cleaning up all the bushes in that bottom left area. So I go up here and put it in my chest. It's already 11:10 in the morning, so I decide it's finally time to head out, and I bring my geode with me because I can go to Clint, the blacksmith, to get it processed, which will give me some random thing. Although I believe on this outing I actually don't get around to that, but I carry it on me regardless. So I believe, I run into Haley here, which is, another person I need to say hello to, but I decide to go to Willie first thing. because I want to get the fishing rod. It's a good source of income, especially early game when you really don't have any form of passive income. And not necessarily passive, but steady. So here's Willie, and I think Willie has probably one of the best portraits in this mod, because it really makes him look like a really weathered old fisherman. And the pipe is pretty cool as well. And you know, that sunburned skin that's just so used to it, it's just darkened now naturally. It's a great touch for, you know, someone who's supposed to just constantly be out on the sea. But here he gives us his old fishing rod. And, oh, my AC just turned off. Sorry about the buzzing beforehand. There's not really much I can do about that, but now it'll be dead quiet. As I was saying, for someone who's not a huge fan of fishing in real life, I love fishing in Stardew Valley. And spoiler, but I have a mod that lets me skip the fishing minigame, and that might be controversial, but it's not a super relaxing game, and you know, there is something nice about not having to worry about if you're going to catch a fish or not. And here I just go say hi to Willie again, just in case that cutscene didn't count, but I'm pretty sure it did. But, you know, better safe than sorry. But yeah, so rest assured, every time I go fishing, we don't have to worry about the fishing minigame. I will automatically catch the fish. So here I just check how much wood I need for this bridge, and it's 300, so I realize that that's going to be repaired in due time. But I say hello to Elliot again because I want to make friends all across the valley. And then here we're entering Stardew Valley expanded territory. So if you've only ever played base game, all this is going to be unfamiliar. And this is one of the new characters. Her name is Sophia, and she's a fellow farmer, and she is kind of the anime fan cosplayer archetype, but she runs Blue Moon Vineyard, so her main export is wines. And then we're going to go over here to another new area named Fairhaven Farm. And the farmer's name is Andy. And he's not in his home, so I don't know where he is, but we find him later. And Andy is, he's much more of a traditional farmer, you know. Kind of, you know, in here I try to check where he is, because I think he might be at Joja Mart, but he's not, thanks to the mod. But he's a much more traditional farmer. He's middle-aged and has that classic kind of grayed goatee that all truckers seem to have. And you know, he's the kind of guy, it's like, oh, honest work makes good products and all about that. And but he has a very good heart. You know, he's not a mean guy. But here's Leia, and I think this portrait is probably the farthest from the source, if I'm being honest. And some people are probably fond of that, and others probably aren't. Me, I'm somewhere in between. Because, you know, it's not like they changed it. If you don't want the different portraits, you don't have to play with it, so it's all personal preference, nice, luckily. But I believe I'm going to run into is in the saloon, and it's a great place to talk to everyone because they're all concentrated in one area. But we say hi to George, and this, I run into Alex working out shirtless in his bedroom. And honestly, I'm so surprised because I've never seen that before. And I didn't know that was like a thing. Oh, and this is a help wanted board. Here you can accept small quests and just, to help out the others. And, the one we just accepted requires us to go into the mines. However, the mines I don't believe are accessible yet, but here's another new character. Her name is Olivia, and I believe that she was added because a lot of people complained, jokingly or seriously, about not being able to marry any of the mothers in Stardew Valley, and it's a big in-joke in the community. So I believe the creator of Stardew Valley Expanded added Olivia as a way to counteract this and say, here's a mother you can marry. So her archetype is kind of like the rich, wine-loving, single mother, and she does have a son that is also available to romance, and he's kind of one of the last people I run into. I believe it's tomorrow, actually, that I run into him, but his name is Victor. So Victor and Victoria, I think it's really funny. And people are also very fond of him because he's another, obviously his mother's rich, so he is rich as well, but it's Stardew Valley, so there are no mean characters, really. And if they are, they're more for comedy, but of course, all of the main characters will never be mean. So Victor is a really sweet guy, and I don't want to know what to say his archetype is, but yeah, he's very sweet and kind, kind of like rich boy raised the right way, so to speak. So yeah. And then, yeah, I never got that geode process, like I said. But I come down here and I do some fishing just to earn some extra cash on the first day. And nothing really bites too much. So I'm kind of sitting here for a while. And that's what it looks like when you skip the game. It just automatically, as long as you get it at the right time, you automatically catch the fish. But yeah, I'm sitting here for a while with kind of no luck, and my AC is turning back on, so hopefully that's not too loud. But we'll see. It's normally not loud, but I think there might be something in my filter because there's some kind of buzzing, and obviously it shouldn't be doing that, but I turned off my fan in my room to reduce background noise, so I hope the sound quality is okay for all of you, because if I'm being honest, this is probably one of the most sleep-inducing videos I've made, because I usually focus more on the role plays and whatnot, pointing the channel and whatnot, but and since this is really in the style of Snow Monkey, and he's one of the guys that can just knock me out in a heartbeat, I think this is probably one of the most sleep-inducing videos I've made. So I hope you agree, and I hope the rest of the videos in this series have a similar effect. But let me know if you like videos like this, where it's just kind of gameplay and whispering. Today it's raining, so I don't have to water my crops because Mother Nature is going to do that for me. So I decide with my extra time I'm going to come down here and clean up the remaining twigs and stones. And then after that, I believe my farm will be pretty much cleared for everything my tools are strong enough to clear. But, you know, cleaning up the farm is always one of my favorite and least favorite parts of starting another Stardew Valley playthrough, because it's a lot to do, and it does take up a lot of time that could be spent hanging out with the other citizens of Pelican Town, but at the same time there's something really relaxing, and as you can see I've leveled up in my mining, and it shows that up there. But like I was saying, there's something really nice and satisfying about finally cleaning up all the stray bits and having a lot of open area. So it's a double-edged sword. That's kind of what Stardew Valley is, you know, because it's all about the way you depend to play it. Because people make jokes about how cutesy it is, but they play it like it's a full-on business. And if you know how to play, eventually it does end up being a business you run with, how much you're managing on the daily. But you don't have to, because there's no amount of cash that you need to reach or amount of exports you need to make. It's how you want to play. So it's, that's Stardew Valley. It can be stressful, it can be fun, or it can be both at the same time. And really, for players, it always comes around at the end to being both. It's the stress is fun. Certainly for me, at least. I remember in my prime of playing this game, and when I would play for hours on end, I would just be doing so much every day, and it'd be the same old routine, but I would find it so interesting that I just couldn't stop. And so I'm looking here at the people I need to still say hi to, and you'll see something there that Rasmodius, who's the wizard, is now a girl, and her name is Rasmodia, and she is another romanceable option. It's not really that big of a deal. It doesn't change anything. And to be honest, I really don't know why I have it, but I do. So, but it's pretty cool because, and spoilers as well, this means that Caroline is technically bisexual because of her history with the witch/wizard. So that's a little detail. That's kind of neat. However, it also does kind of ruin the story, because Abigail is supposed to be hinted at being the wizard and Caroline's daughter. And, of course, now, there is no one to have a child with, so to speak, between the two of them. But maybe it implies magic was at work or something, And it's really not that big of a deal, like I said. Just a neat little thing. And here's a very unique character. His name's Linus, and he's a homeless man that lives out the outskirts of Pelican Town. And he is probably one of my favorite characters. I think he's just a really sweet guy, and I will never understand why Pelican Town is so mean to him. But here you can see behind this guy, and I've never seen this before, actually, is the mines. And like I said, I don't know why that's blocked off. I've never seen it blocked off before. I've seen it moved. That was because of Stardew Valley expanded, but you can change it back to its original spot. But I have no idea why it's blocked off. And I'm sure later on there'll be some newsletter or something that says, oh, the path through the mines is clear, and I'll remember that letter and be like, oh, of course, how could I forget? But for now, I'm very confused on why that's there and why I can't access the mine, so we can't complete the quest. But it's okay, because if I'm being really honest, I'm not really fond of Clint, and no one else really is either. So it's okay if we don't get our bond up with him too soon. And here is Joja Mart, which is, the stand-in in this game for corporate control and ruining the environment and kind of shying away from healthy living, but and I think it's kind of hinted at that you're supposed to beat Joja Mart, so to speak, and it's a whole thing, and someone who knows this game better than me can probably explain the whole Joja Mart plotline better than me, but here's the manager. His name is Morris. I don't know why maybe that is his updated portrait, but to me it kind of looks the exact same. And that cashier Claire is also a new character, and she's technically in the base game as just sitting there, but Stardew Valley Expanded made her a fully fledged character that you can romance and everything. But she's so new that she doesn't have an anime portrait, so that is her normal portrait. But here we process our geodes, and we're not able to process all of them due to inventory space. And here it looks like I purposely walk into the library to donate what I just got, but actually I was looking for Penny and the Kids. And here I save myself time so I can read these lines out. So I'll do just that. What's this? You found something. Let me see it. Remarkable. It's very old. I'd love to study this in greater detail, but it is yours. I've got a favor to ask you. Would you consider donating any new artifacts or minerals that you find? We can make a groundbreaking discovery together. Oh, and who knows, if you keep donating, I might come across some interesting items to send your way. Think about it, will ya? If you decide to donate, just bring the objects to the front desk. So, what this is basically you can find certain minerals or artifacts, and you come here and you talk to Gunther, and you put them in display cases. And this is pretty cool because they, obviously stay in display cases, and if you donate enough, you get cool prizes, and the prizes are always really neat. But we did make some cash off that quest, and we say hi to Penny here, which Penny is another favorite of mine. She lives with their mother, Pam, who we just saw in Joja Mart in a trailer. And we'll see more of her storyline as the episodes progress, but it's a pretty sad one, although kind of all the storylines for these characters are, more or less. Or maybe not all of them, but it's about growth, kind of like in Persona, like a social link. Just because it doesn't mean just because it's not sad, it doesn't mean that the character isn't growing from you interacting with them. But here we have 2 more things, so we donate them, and I realize that this isn't even, and that's really gonna mess with me. So I, figure out how to make it even. So this is already even, but this is not, so I just separate them, and then boom, suddenly it's all symmetrical. So I actually forget. I believe I'm going back to the farm now. Oh no, I believe I'm gonna try to find the few people I have left to say hello to. Oh, and here, I believe this is also a Stardew Valley expanded thing, is Dusty. You can finally say hello to the dog, because I used to just be barred off. And here's Evelyn. This is one of I think that is the craziest difference. And, Alex is still working out shirtless, but I think Evelyn's, I'm trying to break down the door. I think the difference between Evelyn's normal portrait and her anime portrait is just the biggest difference in a good way, because she kind of looked like a thumb in the original game, if I'm being honest, but now she actually looks like a normal human, so that's good. And yeah, that AC is really loud because it suddenly drops dead quiet when it goes off. So again, I apologize for that. Maybe I'll have to try to find a workaround. But as you can see, Emily is also in a different outfit a little bit. Oh, and here's Andy. Very classic, just farmer, almost right-wing looking character. But anyway, about Emily, as you can see, she was in a pink dress instead of red. And that is because if that mod is working correctly, there are seasonal outfits, so I've actually yet to see it in full action, but hopefully all the characters change outfits throughout the seasons, the changing seasons. And, another one of those things doesn't change anything, but is nice. And here I'm trying to figure out who the final few people I have to say hello to are, because technically I don't have to say hello to everyone to complete the quest. But here's Sam, which is a fan favorite. People are very fond of Sam. Personally, I'm impartial to him. I don't hate him, but I definitely do not love him as much as a lot of other people do. And here I really think Rasmodia is one of the people I need to say hello to, but that is actually false. And I have that in the back of my head because I remember you're invited by her once you do a certain thing. And I won't say what that certain thing is yet, but you're invited to the Wizard Tower. But here we finally say hello to Alex as he decided to put a shirt on. And I'm trying to figure out who the final person is, and I figure it's either Rasmodia or Vincent, and I'm really trying to decide, is it a base character or has expanded, allotted all of their characters in the quest. And spoiler alert, it's actually Victor. It is the added-on character. And here I try to get another dish, and this one is one I can actually fulfill. I can catch a herring within time. And then I figure Victor is probably in his house, so I go looking around for him. And the reason I haven't been using the map to see where everyone is, because I think that's kind of cheating. But I'm not above resorting to it. But we run into Olivia. Oh my gosh, gosh, did I say Victoria and Victor later? Oh, no, her name is Olivia. That's my apologies. I don't know where Victoria and Victor came from. But yeah, her name is Olivia. Yeah, and I really cannot find Victor anywhere. But, little do I know, he's actually just down the hall. So luckily, I walk that way. Yeah, and here he comes all by himself. So lucky us. And there he is. And that is all the people we need to say hello to. So now we have to give someone a gift, which is really how you make friends in this game, because talking will only get you so far. I think it gives you like 5 friendship points or something, where giving good gifts really gets you in, good favor. So I decided I'm going to stop by the saloon since there's a ton of people here to choose from. And one of the mods I have is look up anything, so by pressing a certain button I can click on anyone or anything and they'll see everything about it. So I decide to look at who likes this flower. And I see that Emily does, and Emily's right here, so I decide to give it to her because I'm a big fan of Emily. In my other playthrough that I have on this laptop, she is my wife. So I decide that I'll give it to her. But yeah, with that, it is now 8 o'clock, and so I say hello to a few of my favorite characters, and I decide that it's time to head back to the farm and call it a night. And that is the end of the video, actually, because I didn't know how long I had been recording for, but I figured 3 days is probably enough time, so. But of course, there was also the intro and customizing and all that, so in future videos I might do 2 nights, but I might also do 3. I'm really in between which one it is, but yeah, so thank you very much for watching, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you look forward to more installations in this series, because I do. But yes, let me know what you thought, and I'd like to thank you very much again. Sleep well.